hi everybody at YouTube, at Twitter/Periscope, and of course Facebook Live, where comments remain open on the replay. So if you're watching anywhere else, make sure you head over to my Bonnie Gillespie Facebook page, where the videos remain open for commenting, and I always make sure to do a round or two, especially in the day of the broadcast. I'm there several times to answer any questions that came up as you were watching the replay. So if you could please report in, let me know where you're watching from so that I can make sure we have landed in all the places. Sean is telling me we are live at Facebook. That's great. All you beautiful people who are watching on Instagram Live, if you want to participate in the comments while we're doing this, come on over to Facebook or Periscope or YouTube. All of the comments work during the live broadcast. It's only in the replay that we keep things only open at the Facebook group. Hello, Periscope. Good to see you. Okay, fantastic. Hopefully YouTube is climbing on as well. I love getting to spend this time with y'all. We are doing this 20 days in May, and actually 21, because I'm doing a bonus broadcast on May 31st to announce our scholarship winners for the 100-day Getting Gear for the Next Tier Live Summer School, SMFA Summer School. Of course, SMFA, Self-Management for Actors, SMFA. You can also remember the acronym because it's sexy motherfucking actors, y'all. But SMFA, we are also, of course, celebrating SMFMay. The month of May, we are doing 20 live training broadcasts and then a one bonus one on the 31st, where I will reveal the scholarship winners for our 100-day membership program, Getting Gear for the Next Tier, which if you would like to enroll now. And if you win the scholarship, we will refund your money or give you a free coaching instead of the scholarship, which is actually more valuable. So whichever you prefer. But go ahead and join in now so that you can get started on your homework and prepare for your most successful start at this possible. And if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, please head over to BonnieGillespie.com/20. This is your hub for the 20 days of SMFMay, where I am sharing the playlist for all the replays, as well as the ability for you to sign up to get notifications for when I'm going to go live so that you don't miss a second of the free training. And of course, this is where we will get you more information about our life-changing 100-day membership program for actors and other showbiz creatives, all about the tools, the mindset that are required to have a successful and joy-filled journey through your showbiz life. So that is part of why we're here today. We are today in a run of, 6 days straight broadcasting. So today is Sunday, the 12th. Happy Mother's Day. We are going through, we did talked about, for sure, understanding your true north, day one. That was really important. We got into your type and brand, understanding your bullseye. We did some cleaning up of your resume. We went way into your footage. Yesterday, we laid the groundwork for, hopefully, your show Bible and wrangling the data that you're going to start to tackle as a part of targeting, which today we get into targeting. Tomorrow we get into agent and manager targeting. So a little bit of homework on this. If you're like, this is overwhelming to me, I would really recommend that you go watch my video on how to get an agent. Even if you have an agent, even if you don't want an agent, you think it's too soon, it is not too soon to get this training. It is totally free. It's out on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Just Google Bonnie Gillespie, how to get an agent, and schedule the time to watch that 75-minute training video that will take you through exactly what it is you need to do to use IMDb Pro. You do need a pro membership at IMDb, but if you're a professional in this industry, you have one. Please make sure you have one. You will use it every day. And you're able to dig deep to find out who the buyers are for the shows and the projects that you need to be a part of. And of course, therefore, who the agents are that need to be a part of your team so that you're able to get into the rooms with the people who stand the best chance of deciding, oh my God, yes, this is the person I need to solve this problem, to tell this story for this project that we're casting right here today. And that is what gets you along your journey to your true north faster. And so we can really cut down on the amount of time that it takes for you to make it when we do targeting. I know it works because I have thousands of clients, if not tens of thousands all over the world, if we count everybody who's ever read the book and used the methods, even if we've not actually met and worked together. But we have many people who have successfully wrangled targeting. So I know you can do it too. And if you're overwhelmed, just start. Just start. This is one of those things where you will absolutely never regret the research that you do. And so let me set the stage on this with regard to things like, oh, I was doing all the targeting homework, I was researching a particular show, and then that show got canceled. This is one that gets brought to me quite a lot, where someone then decides that all the research they've done is useless because now the show is canceled, so they can't get into that room for that project anymore because of the show being canceled. And I'm like, I need you to change your mindset about what this process is about. It is never about booking a role in a project during an audition at one point in time. No, that right there is playing small. That is playing small. I want you to start thinking in terms of booking the room. And that means that there is never a downside to having learned about your buyers. There is never a downside to having information that makes it more powerful when you do intersect with these people that you are going to have relationships with for decades. Because when you think short-sighted, when you think role specific, and when you think project specific, and all your vision is on that, you are so results oriented for that one role, that one shot, that one audition, that one project, that one person at that one point in time, that that tunnel vision becomes pressure and desperation, and it throbs like a needy fucking toothache in the room. And then you blow it because you can't not on some level, because the stakes have just become so high in your mind that then when you come in, instead of showing us, hey, I know that you're a buyer who regularly needs what it is that I do. Let me take this opportunity to show you a little bit of what it is that I do. And then you dismount and leave confidently knowing that you have shown a buyer, this is what I do. And that buyer knows, even if not this role today, even if not this project right now, wow, I get you, and I so am on board for what it is that you do, and now I know how to cast you next time. Whether it was this project, this role, today, this audition, you take all the stakes away when you come at it from a point of view of book the room. That's what I'm doing with y'all here right now. Just so you know, by the way, I don't consider today a colossal failure if every single one of you watching doesn't go and buy a membership in the 100-day program today. Think about that. If you come in as an actor every audition saying, if they don't cast me, I've failed, that's me showing up here having, I don't know how many people are going to view this by the time the broadcast has been in replay. And if I decide that every single person who didn't go enroll in my 100-day program is a bit of proof that I failed somehow at the value that I'm providing here, you would say, Bonnie, you're a crazy person. Why on earth do you believe that every single person who consumes and gets value out of what it is that you do in the world has to spend money on a product of yours right now in order for you to understand that what you do has value? Right? It sounds absurd. But that's what you do every time you go into an audition, with the stakes being high of, like, if I don't book it, I failed somehow. Fuck that. Look, this is long haul, y'all. I am giving you incredible value over the course of these 20 free broadcasts in SMFMay, because maybe I just hope you buy the book. And even if you don't buy the book, maybe I'm just hoping that when you hear somebody complaining about not having any control in their creative career, or how shitty their agent is, or how they can't get seen or called back anymore and they're wondering what went wrong, that you go, you know what? I actually think there's this really smart lady, Bonnie Gillespie. She knows some shit about this shit, and you should probably check out her shit. Like, that's it. Yes, if you happen to decide down the line you want to work with me and spend some money, awesome. But I am not so results oriented as to show up to this audition with that agenda. So I really would love it if you could come from a place of relationship building when you think of auditions, when you think of submitting, and when you think about doing the research on your buyers. You are laying the groundwork for decades of interaction. If I believe I've failed after one audition in which I didn't get cast, if I feel like, oh, see, it wasn't worth it, the research that I did on this show now that it's canceled is out the window, what I'm actually telling that buyer is, I don't think you have a career in this business. I don't think that you're going to be casting something later for which you might want to know I exist. Like, Nobody's retiring tomorrow. When a show gets canceled, people don't get run out of Hollywood with flaming pitchforks. Grr, boo, get out of town. Your show's been canceled. Like, that's not how it happens. What happens is everybody goes and works on something else, usually with other people from within their web of trust. You want to be a part of that web of trust, and that means coming in and showing the buyers, here's what I do. Here's how I interpret this material. You had this audition for this role in this project at this time using these sides, and here's what it looks like when I interpret this material based on the description that you gave me about this character. Oh, do you have notes? Redirect? Great. Let me try it again. Cool. I have now shown you through the lens of my brand, knowing where I'm headed on my true north path. I have shown you this is what it looks like to be in business with me. And if it works for this project and this role at this time, awesome. And if not, that's cool. I trust you're going to be my buyer for a long time. So really try to come at it from that framework when you're doing this homework. I want to actually walk you through something that happened in a private coaching session here with me, because I realized when you watch the How to Get an Agent video, you're going to see me take you through the IMDb Pro process of using the data episode to episode and booking to booking. This is the whole data never lies. You are using the information that comes from previous bookings in that casting office for the roles at your tier. Very important. That's why we talked about that yesterday, to lay the groundwork. Because you are going to use the data for people who are booking at your tier on your target project within the last season to determine what patterns exist. What is it about that casting office that clearly turns them on about the people who are booking co-stars at my tier roles within my type or without, because that part doesn't matter. It is just these are people who are booking projects on a target show of mine at the exact tier that I need to get seen on. Wow, there's a disproportionate number of people going into that casting office who are unrepped, which means that buyer, that casting director, is finding them some way. And that information is out there. We're about to dig in on that. Or who are repped by this particular agent, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, and the value of having an agent who you can clearly see has a very strong relationship within the web of trust in a casting office that is one of your targets along your path to your true north. You can also say, wow, a disproportionate number of people who are booking who are booking roles on projects that I'm targeting at tiers that I'm capable of booking, all have headshots done in this style or taken by this photographer, because this is all stuff you can figure out. This is all stuff that the data will lay out for us. Or, wow, a disproportionate number of actors who are booking on this show came up from this theater company or trained at this studio. They all have on their resume this training or this coach, or they're all ninjas. Ooh, what does that tell me about the web of trust and where these relationships may be strengthened by my doing something that doesn't actually take me so far out of the direction that I need to go? Like, it's super simple. I'm not saying that it's fast. I'm not saying that there are moments where you will go, oh my God, this is so tedious. It is. It's tedious as fuck. It's why most people won't do it. But guys, this right here is where the pros and the non-pros, the hobbyists, get separated out. The pros in this business treat this information like the gold that it is. The people who are hobbyists and who can't be bothered, who want to it's actor busy work to them, they think that there's just no way that learning this information about these buyers could be helpful, or it's just too much work. God, could you please make it easy? Like, they don't realize you're running a fucking business. And part of running a business means you got to have knowledge of your buyer. You've got to absolutely learn where they shop and what they're into and how to speak to them and market to them in ways that make you irresistible. That's just business. That's all that is. And I think we get into this place like, oh, well, I'm an artist. And if I'm talented and if I'm passionate enough, that'll count. Okay, I would like you to take a look at the number of working actors who are making it because they are passionate, because they are talented. How many people are incredibly talented who aren't making it? What is that? It's not wanting it. It's not being passionate enough. It's not being talented enough. It's having all the passion and all the talent and also the business savvy. It's being able to do the work to determine where your time is best spent, because you can make this road a lot shorter. You can make the time it takes to hit a lot shorter just by doing this amount of work. So I'm going to take you through the process that we went through when someone came in-house for me for a coaching session, because she was just like, look, I need you to just do this targeting thing for me. And of course, y'all know I ain't doing anybody's targeting for them. I'm doing my targeting for me. I'm not going to do your target for you. There's not a payment you can create for me that would get me to do your targeting for you. However, during a private coaching session with a longtime client, you bet I will sit down and take the whiteboard and put it down on the floor. And I sit down here on the floor and whiteboard out with my laptop everything that I'm about to tell you. So here's how we did it for this person. She was looking for a particular show that shoots in LA. She was looking at Casting About to get all the detailed information about who the casting assistants and associates are, and I highly recommend that. If you do not have a Casting About membership, especially if you are in a market like LA, New York, Toronto, Vancouver, and I think you can do it through eTalenta if you're in Europe, but especially if you're in London. Like having these Casting About memberships in different markets can be incredibly powerful for you, because the detail you're going to get before a project is casting it's worth so much. IMDb is a historical website, so it gives you information for the most part after it has happened or after it has been announced. And by the time it's been announced, casting's already been going on for a long time. So if you can get on Casting About, which I think is like $60 a year or something insanely cheap like that, you can get a free week by going to castingabout.com/SMFA. So again, SMFA, all right, SMFA. So if you go to castingabout.com/SMFA, they'll give you a free week at Casting About, and then you can decide if it's worth it for you. But don't sign up for that free week until you're going to spend like so many hours during that free week really diving in on the research that you're able to see the value of this site. Okay, so we opened IMDb Pro and Casting About for this target show of my client. And we went through and did the standard thing that if you go watch my How to Get an Agent video, I walk you through in meticulous detail. We went through all the co-stars, which was her tier. We're looking at all the co-stars that were booked on this past season on this target show. And we were writing down every bit of information we could find out about these people, these actors who were booking. So you have to be really good at getting dispassionate about what you're seeing here. You can't turn this into comparison-itis. You can't turn this into beating yourself up about what you don't have, like their reel's better, or their headshot's better, or their training is more comprehensive, or they live in a better market than you do, or whatever kind of self-talk shit that you need to clean up. Don't bring that to this party. It is not helpful at this stage of research. This needs to be just like researcher brain, dispassionate data collection. That is the power in research, is that you just dispassionately take a look at the data, analyze. We went through and determined things like who's shooting all their headshots, where are they training, where are they doing plays, where are they doing CD workshops, where, if they are, who's doing mailings, who they're repped by, obviously, because that's a part of the picture as well. And we kept noticing that there is a significant number of bookings happening here that are from unrepped actors with just about her level of credits and training and type of footage. Like, because seriously, you can go down the rabbit hole on this and determine the average actor booking a co-star on my target show has a demo reel that is 90 seconds long. Mine is 3 minutes. Clearly, I got to cut my demo reel in half to be seen as part of that fraternity of bookers, right? Like, and if you just had a light bulb aha moment off that, dude, come on over to self-management for actors, because this is the shit that we do. Like, it's a no-brainer once you get under the hood and start looking at the data that, like, oh, I need to look like I am much more in this pack, like that this is my peer group. Cool, I need to get some training over here. And then you budget for the training at the venue that you need to be going to based on what the data is telling you is true for these buyers. So as we're going through and looking at all of these actors and seeing like, wow, they're doing something that has them getting in front of this casting director or assistant or associate. There's a whole team of casting directors, right? That is something we're not able to pick up from the data outright. Let's go a little deeper. And here's where we jump away from the tools like Casting About and IMDb Pro and just use a good old fucking Google. Get on Google and check out this particular casting director. We also did it for his associate and his assistants. And I won't get into all the detail that we found out about this. But the main nugget that we found out when we did a deep dive on this casting director and just combed through the internet and looked at his own social media profiles and what he was telling us he was doing and what he was into and what he comments on. Like, all you have to do is follow someone that you're targeting and observe who they follow and who follows them and what conversations they have and when they reply to tweets or when they hit like on something. And unless they have an entirely private, locked down or zero social media presence, this is totally easy to track. And you're able to, over enough time, see the relationships that are important to this person. For example, if you followed me and watched my behavior on Instagram or Twitter, probably not so much Facebook because I don't have a personal account there. I only do the fan page thingy thing. I would say you would learn pretty quickly that I am passionate about a few things. Pole dancing, that's one of them. Pole fitness is a biggie in my life. There's gluten-free and Whole30 eating. Big fan. That changed my life for sure. That I go to Pilates 3 times per week minimum. That's easy to figure out. That I am obsessed with the Pixies. Have been since I was probably 16, 17 years old. So we go way back. There are certain things that you can track about me pretty quickly just by taking a peek at social. But watching the way I interact with other people, watching the way I follow brands or interact with things that are important to me, that's the stuff that's even more telling. So what we were able to do with this particular casting director is find out that when he's not doing casting director shit, he runs an art gallery in Venice. So I'm sitting here in Santa Monica. Venice is right down the road. So we're sitting here. I'm on the floor with my whiteboard and my computer and my client sitting over here in the pod, and like mind's blowing with all the things that are coming up as we are searching this guy out. And I'm like, how hard do you think it is to get invited to an opening of an exhibit going on at his art gallery in Venice? He has a freaking website. You can't look up his name and land on the website, but you can figure out through all the places he is on the internet the name of his gallery and then find it on the web and sign up for the mailing list to get notified the next time there's an art opening that you will be invited to because you're a member of the mailing list. Now, sure, most people signing up on that mailing list are people who collect art and are probably looking for things to buy. And you're like, well, that's not me. It doesn't matter. He's still going to invite you to a show because when there's an opening and you need to have a lot of people there, that's a thing to go to. And then, of course, you don't do the jackass actor thing and show up to that and go, here's my headshot and resume. Here's my business card. I'm here to network at you. You go and soak up what it is to be in his space, what he's into even more than just his casting life, because this is a person you want to do business with for decades. And so just being in that world and hopefully learning something about the art so that you can have an actual non-jackass actor conversation with the gallery owner and the artist that's being featured, having that conversation at that event, that is now an in-person connection that has happened, even if it only takes 30 seconds. Even if it's just a, oh, hi, thank you so much for hosting this. This is really great. I love your space. That's it. Even if that's all you do, you've now had FaceTime with a buyer. And now, when you follow up on social with a tweet or an Instagram reply Or if he's not out on social talking about the things that are happening in the gallery, if you follow up with an email because he's got his email address out on IMDb Pro and you're like, hey, crossing lines here on the whole like non-actor actor thing, but I just wanted to let you know that was a really phenomenal art show. And thank you so much for opening that up to the public because it was really great for me to get to experience that. And then you don't, P.S. I'm an actor. By the way, here's my agent. Oh, here's my headshot. Here's my demo reel and any of that desperate shit. What you do is trust that this is not a dumbass on the receiving end of this email. And if he liked your energy when you had that very organic, yes, engineered, but still organic interaction, he's going to remember you in a way that is positive. And then when you submit on a project, when your headshot and resume comes across, when he sees your name again, when you're with an agent later and that agent pitches you, it's all going to sound familiar to him and not from a place of, oh yeah, that desperate actor who was all up in my grill. It's going to actually be instead, this is actually a really cool person. I met this actor. Ooh, hang on. Let's give you a shot. All of this is long game, y'all. Long game, long game, long game. And that is just one example. And if you're in a market like Los Angeles where there are 723 casting directors, think about that. 723 casting directors. Your job is not to meet every one of us once. Your job is not to get into every one of our rooms, ever. Your job is to find the half dozen, maybe 10, maybe a dozen. Okay, maybe you want 12. I don't know. Find the 5, 6, 7 casting directors who actively cast the things that are next on your path up to your true north and make fans out of us. That's your job. That's your job. And this works in any market because if you're in a smaller market where you only have a half dozen casting directors, good news. There's your target. 6 people. And you don't even actually need to be in front of all 6. If you're in a market that only has 6 casting directors, you probably only need to know 3 of them. You know, there's honestly, you could rank them, like which ones are the ones that are most likely casting things that you are right for, that lead to your true north. And if you're like, I don't actually see me getting to stay in a market like, pick Atlanta, Chicago, wherever you are. If you're like, I don't see myself staying in that market, I at some point am going to have to make it to LA or to New York or to London or wherever, if everything's shooting in Vancouver. You're able to say, there is momentum though that I need to start where I currently am that leads to the next relationship in the new market. And you're able to map all that out so that you don't waste time just collecting credits wherever you are thinking they all count, because they don't. There are some credits that you can collect that once you make it to a larger market or once you get in front of the people who are your next tier target buyers aren't going to have that much meaning. So why can't we think about being more purposeful in the work that we start out doing so that it's all strategic, so that every bit of it is an investment in future us, where we're going along the path to the stories that we were born to tell. Because that is where these relationships will continue to pay off decade after decade after decade. Okay, so April says, I've heard you say this before. This is a comment from over at Facebook. I've heard you say this before, but it seems like the more I hear it, the closer I get to utilizing all the advice you give. I love this. April, thanks. Honestly, I got people I've been working with for almost all 20 years of doing this, who will say, I hear something new every time, and I know I've heard this before. I think that comes to readiness. I think that we have to be at a point of readiness to hear some of it and to have it land in a place where it doesn't feel just overwhelming and where it doesn't feel theoretical. It actually feels like, oh, this is something I can put my hands in and get practiced at. Sean is calling it research detective work, very Batman. It is very Batman, right? And Melissa, this is also what Facebook says, connecting all these dots blows my mind. I love it. Kim, if you would please put the casting about link that is for SMFA, not the link that well, maybe this one will work, but if you just put castingabout.com/SMFA, that should do it. Because I think we need them to be able to track that came through us. Thank you so much, Kim, and everyone on Team Cricket Feet who's helping out. I really do appreciate it. Okay, good. Finally doing it this week, joining Casting About this week, Cynthia says, also over here on Facebook. Jawan says, have knowledge of your buyer. Lots of actors don't know this when they put on their business hats. This is a comment over from Periscope. Thank you so much for watching through Periscope. And of course, we will keep comments open over at the Facebook version of the replay. Guys, this is fantastic. Let's see. Scooter says, Scooter, of course, hi, I know who you are. Yes, a fabulous, famous voiceover coach told us to do research on IMDb, target people, and I was totally like, hey, there's this wonderful lady named Bonnie Gillespie who has an entire book about this. It's true, y'all. Tell a friend. And I know Melissa said yesterday she's told approximately 900 people that they need to be coming and doing this free training with me this month. That's okay. We're not going to take the videos down after the month. I'm going to continue to let them live out in the world so you can continue to point people to this fabulous free training. And those who want to go deeper, come on over. We've got the 100 days of getting gear for the next tier live starting up at the end of the month. So your deadline to register to be a part of our live class is May 31st. And yes, we are giving scholarships away. So don't delay. Enter now because we're making our decisions as the videos come in. All the information remains at bonniegillespie.com/20. For those of you watching on Instagram, that is the link in my bio. So please follow it. Whew, I did it in a half hour. I did it. Whew! Tomorrow, we are going to get into agents and managers. And then on Monday, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow, rep targeting, yes. And then Tuesday, we're going to get into your web presence. We're going to follow that up with logline, bio, cover letter, how to rock the meeting. So assuming you're getting all your tools in order and then submitting to agents and managers and then getting the meetings, we're going to go over exactly how to do that so you don't die when you get invited into the room. So we're also going to practice some brand prov. Of course, you know I'm going to talk to you about your self-taping studio and content creation, how you can control the footage that is coming into your demo reel if you don't already have the demo of your dreams. We'll talk about some non-icky self-promo because I never want it to come across icky. We will also, of course, get into your survival job, your business plan, how to continue taking this self-management for actors work to the next level so that you can be running your damn business every day. Nadine, absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. I so appreciate the comments from those who are watching live. And if you're watching in replay, thank you for joining us. I will be sweeping back by the comments in the Facebook version of the replay to answer any questions that come up. And until tomorrow, stay ninja. Bye, y'all. Thanks for joining me. This was fun.